those crowd control chains. They like to rot everybody down, do as much damage as possible, really put the pressure. Can they do that to skill cap lack?
Yeah, and one of the interesting things, you think about this matchup and you think the weakness is the Elemental Shaman, and that's where we're going with the Dark Archangel on Cubsy. They're going to all in on Swapsy. He's playing the Relentless Talent, so he won't really have an answer for it unless he preemptively gets some of those cooldowns out. It's going to be onus on Chaz to play that defensive game well. We can see actually Skill Cap Black get the aggression early on. Waz opens up, just wants to get Cubsy out of the picture for that aggressive start, but it's really going to be a question. We can see the blind, the Kleptomania on Swapsy. He's already kiting away though, doing a great job. He's really negating anything Wealthy Man can do, just sitting in a room. He doesn't even get the sap. Perfect opener from Swapsy.
Yeah, Swapsy doing a phenomenal job there. There's the kidney shot on Chaz. Oh, he has to trinket out. Displaces away behind that pillar, but everyone is chasing him. Swapsy's getting low as well. This is the pressure we talked about coming in from Super Prox. Chaz is going to have to play catch up a little bit right now, committing that Iron Bark as well over onto Swapsy. Cheap shot on Cubsy though. Big swap coming in from Swapsy as well as Waz. A little bit of pressure, but Cubsy should be fine for now. Mage getting out that mark of Alunith. Nice kick from Waz, slowing down some of that Arcane Mage damage. And you can see Swapsy and Chaz working together as a unit to run and avoid a lot of this damage Wealthy Man's able to put out.
Yeah, I actually think that was a very nice opener for Skill Cap Black, but they're putting the pressure unrelentingly over onto Chaz, forcing out the Bark Skin. But let's look at the cooldowns. Of course, all the offensives were used by Super Frogs there. That was the Arcane Power, that was the Vendetta, the Dark Archangel, and Chaz was able to heal through it all using his Trinket. They held onto the Astral Shift on Swapsy, but now Chaz needs to be careful. He's the point of vulnerability. No Bark Skin, no Iron Bark, no Trinket on him. One more getting caught out of form and you will die in this situation for Skill Cap Black.
Yeah, there's a 10-second window where he has no Bark Skin. They have Arcane Power, they have Dark Archangel, they have Vendetta, they have everything available. Full blind over onto Cubsy. Is he going to Trinket? It doesn't look like it just now. Wealthy Man trying to get some damage over onto Swapsy. Shadow steps over, but he gets knocked away. Finally able to reconnect with that sprint. Agent is putting on a little bit of pressure right now, but Waz swapping over to Wealthy Man. Wealthy Man looking like he doesn't want to get that, won't use his Trinket just yet, not taking too much damage. Nice Cyclone coming in from Chaz. They realized the kill opportunity was lost, so they just want to crowd control them up. This is what Skill Cap Black likes to do, especially with that Outlaw Rogue. They like to go all over the map, keep their opponents guessing. Now swapping over to Mage and gouge onto Cubsy. Wealthy Man still not getting topped off. Swap's able to put out a ton of damage on that Elemental Shaman, and that's going to be the first ice block.
And that was actually the all-in from Super Frogs as well. They wanted to get the swap over onto Chaz, but he got the preemptive bear form. That was the Dark Archangel, Arcane Power, and the Vendetta, but Chaz outplays it all. Skill Cap Black showing why they're the #1 seed coming out of Europe, even with this roster missing Raikou. Now they've got to be the ones looking offensively. We've got the Plunder Armor on Waz. Trinkets are available for Super Frogs, but they are losing on mana, and they're definitely feeling the pressure from Swapsy and Waz on this Elemental Outlaw Rogue.
I can't help but feel like that was a huge waste for Super Frogs. They managed to catch Chaz in bear form. At that point, you just realize, you know what, we should probably save our offensive cooldowns, but they used everything, and now they don't have that damage for quite some time. Skill Cap Black is going to be looking good for the next minute. Wealthy Man taking some good damage. Mageddon returning fire with that Arcane Mage over onto Waz. Cubsy's going to get gouged up. Chaz moving into position to get that full Cyclone. Lands it. Now Wealthy Man could be in some trouble. He has to Trinket out, spamming out the feints. Waz all over them, though, putting out some decent damage.
Yeah, that's what they wanted as well. You could see Chaz, they really committed to that play. Chaz pushed in, he got the Cyclone on Cubsy, and that's because they wanted to force this Trinket on Wilfern without using the Plunder Armor. Now Waz going to be caught up in a kidney shot. Should be fine here. He does have his Trinket if he needs to. Drops a little bit low with that Dark Archangel, but will be able to survive with the Cloak of Shadows. Now they're looking to set up a kill over onto Wealthy Man potentially. Cubsy dropping low. I'm expecting them to blind him up here after the setup. They get his PvP Trinket. Maybe they can blind on the human racial, but he gets polymorph behind the pillar. Excellent play by Mageddon, keeping his team alive here. Waz does still have that ability available. He could push in, try to get the swap over onto Wealthy Man. That's what we're looking for as the double fair comes out from Cubsy. He's playing this so well.
Yeah, Chaz displaces away, but he gets caught into a kidney shot. He isn't bear though, so he should be fine. Big damage coming in from both Mage and Wealthy Man. You can see Waz trying to support him. Can Chaz keep himself alive? Not committing the Iron Bark, but that might be way too greedy of a play. Uses it super late, full blind on the Wealthy Man, stun on the Mageddon. Oh man, Waz kept Chaz alive there with everything he had. Chaz had a huge greed play there, ultimately able to survive though.
Yeah, it cost them the blind though, so they won't have that offensive tool now. Waz having to use that defensively, but they also have mana in their favor. Cubsy down to about 20% of his blue bar, meaning of course he will run out of healing in the near future, as Dampling should be starting in the next couple of minutes as well. So that's definitely something they have to think about, but they have the offensive tools. Chaz used everything once again, doesn't have that Trinket for about 30 seconds. Dark Archangel is available as we see the swap over onto Wealthy Man, trying to create some counter pressure, but Chaz needs to be careful. He needs to play max range, and he's been caught out of form.
Yep, big damage over on the Chaz. Dark Archangel is going to be used, but no other cooldowns available for Super Frogs. Chaz should be able to survive. Barskin is going to be coming up shortly. Gets cheap shot in bear form, but frenzied regen going to be more than enough to keep himself alive. Now Waz wants to get aggressive with Swapsy. Nice pressure over on the Cubs. He's caught into the stun in the full in the middle of the map. Does he have the pain suppression? He does, but opting not to use it. He's getting lower and lower. This could be another greed play coming in. Cubsy has his trinket, he has his pain suppression. Rapture is always going to need to keep himself alive, but that was a very close call. And Cubsy's, man, it's just getting lower and lower. Super Frogs is running out of time.
Yeah, Chaz has been doing such a good job in this game. If there was any other Druid that didn't shift half of these swaps, he would be dead on the ground several times over. But he did have to use his trinket on the blind there on the swap over to Swapsy, and you can see the offensive cooldowns on Super Frogs. They do have the arcane power as Mage just dropping so low, doesn't have that ice block, is in a bit of trouble, should be able to kite away though with that arcane Mage mobility. They're looking to get this set up. They have the Vendetta, they have the arcane power. One clean setup onto Chaz will win them the game, but they're running out of time. 10% mana left on Cubsy, Wealthy Man dropping low. Swapsy even going for the elemental stun there just to cause extra pressure, and it does get them the kill out of nowhere almost. Wealthy Man just dies. Pain suppression was still available for Cubsy, so maybe just under low. Swapsy even going for the elemental stun there just to cause extra pressure, and it does get them the kill out of nowhere almost. Wealthy Man just dies. Pain suppression was still available for Cubsy, so maybe just under.
This is their map pick. Let's see what they can do with it.
I think one of the people we haven't talked about too much is Swapsy as well. He looks like such a cheerful guy on this roster. It's been all serious when he was on Triforce and stuff, but Skill Cap Blacks, like, they've grown from him, but he's certainly grown from them as well. You can see in the little player intro there we have, he's like ready to beat up the teams. He's so confident in his own team as well. And he actually has 77% win rate on his Elemental Shaman. A lot of that contributed to by this tournament. He's having a phenomenal one so far, and he's looking to put Super Frogs out of the tournament.
Yeah, kidney shot over on the chest. Nice damage on the Waz right away. Super Frogs kind of switching it up, going all over the place, putting some pressure over on the Waz very early on as he gets lower and lower. Chaz not able to connect the hots. This could be the Cloak of Shadows. Waz does commit it with the blind over on the Chaz, but it gets broken. Unfortunately, the Shadow Fiend or the Poison Bomb, something broke that blind, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, that really does. I mean, it sucks, honestly, if you're a Super Frogs fan. You don't want to see that in the opener. They actually had a really good opportunity to get the trinket from Chaz there since Waz was so low, and obviously go for that all-in strategy once again. Super Frogs have changed up a little bit though. You can see Cubsy playing slightly more mana efficient spec. He's playing that Archangel rather than the all-in Dark, which I really like because we were talking about it in the pre-game. Maybe an opportunity for them is actually to just win the dampening, win the war of attrition with that Arcane Mage and Assassination Rogue popping their cooldowns, like essentially just to deal damage.
Yeah, Cubsy trinketing out of that, committing his pain suppression as well. So no trinket, no pain suppression going to be available for Cubsy, as Waz did commit the Plunder Armor. Kidney shot over on the Chaz. Who are they going on? It looks like Waz is the target of choice, but he's just kiting Wealthy Man so easily on that Outlaw spec. You can see him just running away. Wealthy Man, this is such a nightmare matchup for him. Who does he go on? Every single one of these members can run away quite easily. Now the full Cyclone over on the Wealthy Man. This Vendetta essentially being completely wasted as Mage is taking a whole bunch of damage. Cubsy not in any crowd control though. Should be able to easily heal through this damage.
Yep, should be okay at this point in time, and he's definitely winning the mana war. I think Chaz is down to about 70%. He regen a little bit out of combat there, I guess, so pretty even at this point in time, but it's really a question of how Super Frogs can push in. This is actually a really nice map choice from them because they can force Skill Cap Black to kind of stack up behind the pillar. You can see the three of them now. Majin just wants to be in there, trying to get out those arcane explosions, deal damage, but like you said, Ven, it's so hard for Wealthy Man. He's getting caught up in the roots, the slows, the knocks. The entire team of Skill Cap Black is just so mobile. It makes it so difficult for him to get any damage out whatsoever.
Yeah, they're not going for a CC strategy anymore. They don't want to be chasing Chaz around. They just want to be putting out that consistent damage over on the Waz, as well as Swapsy. Wealthy Man looking like he wants to get out of line of sight, potentially get a re-stealth, wait for that kidney shot cooldown to come back up, because that's really when he's going to be able to commit that damage. Waz getting a little bit bursted down by some arcane missiles, but no CC on Chaz. It really looks like they want to go for a mana strategy here.
Yeah, it does, and it looks like, Hex, I thought he was actually going to land that polymorph there over onto Chaz, who does have his artifact up at this point in time. It's been very interesting to see that they've been putting a lot of damage over onto Waz. We see the blind now committed over onto Chaz. Here is the Vendetta. They're trying to get damage onto Swapsy, but he just trades out the Astral Shift. Looks like they don't even have the sap to follow up here, so they're happy with the Astral Shift, but they need to find a way of committing, getting some crowd control over onto Chaz for this next go. They're trying to get some damage, split around, move that Vim and Vigor, make it harder for him to top off his team, but with the counter spell, they're swapping it over onto Cubsy.
Yeah, Cubsy doesn't have anything left for this. Stun into stun into stun. Cubsy finally trinkets out Rapture, as well as that Archangel, going to be enough to keep himself alive. Kidney shot over onto Waz right now. Wealthy Man making a nice swap over to him. Chaz finally gets in line of sight. Cubsy still in trouble as he's trying desperately to line of sight. Full blind over onto Cubsy. Stun onto Mage, and this could be his first and only ice block of the game, but it doesn't look like they have a damage followed up just yet. Finally, some burst coming in from Swapsy. Mage and forced into that ice block, and Super Frogs is running out of defensives quick.
Not only that wasn't even the plunder from Wise. I almost feel like he should have just popped it into the human racial of Cubsy because he dropped so low, but Cubsy has nothing left. Mage didn't either. This could easily be the game. Wise posturing for victory. Swapsy still playing back though. I want to see him pushing in, going for that. Here we go. Here's the gouge onto Cubsy. No plunder. Get committed once again. They might still want to go onto this priest. They're basically killing everyone on the side. Wealthy Man dropping low there. Wise needs to be a little bit careful. The Kleptomania coming out there to try get some pressure onto him, but Chaz easily able to recover. Doing a good job on mana as well, even having that win condition. But Wise just isn't using this plunder for such a long period of time. Cubsy still has no defensives. If they can connect one, they will get this kill.
Yeah, Swapsy just needs to be in a good position to get out that damage. Big burst over on a Wealthy Man. Adrenaline Rush going to be used over by Waz right now. Stun over on the Cubsy as well. Sheer on the Mage, and everyone is CC'd right now. But Wealthy Man should be okay. Commits the kidney shot over on the Waz. This is not what Super Frogs wants. They're forced in this situation where they have to commit all of their damage on the Waz if they want to get anything going because of the way Chaz and Swapsy is positioning.
Yep, and then we see the Vendetta once again, an easy trade for Chaz. He's not in any crowd control, not under any pressure. Uses the Iron Bark, says, okay, you can do whatever you want. Wise actually overlapped it a little bit with the parry, so that could be an opening, but he still has this trinket, still has the Cloak of Shadows, which of course is very, very effective when you're playing Outlaw. It's going to give you the extra healing per debuff you dispel. And honestly, the mana is also looking good. We see a Desperation swap over onto Chaz, once again Bear Form. That was actually the arcane power coming out of Mage Din, so yet again, an offensive cooldown traded without much avail.
Yeah, Waz is going to use that Cloak of Shadows as that Outlaw does heal you up, so that's why you see gets healed up quite nicely every time he uses that cooldown. Cubsy, though, caught into the stun in Swapsy's line of sight. This is the burst that they need. Earthshock stun coming in as well. Does Waz have any follow-up? Cubsy manages to get out of line of sight just barely. Nice kidney shot going out onto Swapsy as well to slow down some of the damage. Cubsy immediately tops himself off with that Archangel. Very nicely done. Now full polymorph over onto Chaz. Wealthy Man still just getting kited. Look at Swapsy, he's just behind the boxes, not anywhere near.
But they could go on Chaz here maybe. They set it up with everything, they just don't have the offensive cooldowns for it. That could have been a decent opportunity. Cubsy even got off the lights raft there, but obviously they just didn't have the offensive to get the one there. But they did get his trinket. They got this trinket with the blind. They got the polymorph, so it's nice to see signs of life coming out of Super Frogs. They do have that opportunity later, but like you say, Elliot, it's going to be a question of whether they can catch Chaz. He's positioning himself so well, making it really difficult for them. And even though Skillcrap Black have had all these win conditions we've been talking about, they still haven't committed the plunder in the last 3-4 minutes. And that's because they're just playing it safe. They know they're going to win this game if they just stay alive, if they avoid the scary swaps that definitely can come out of an Arcane and Assassination, and so far so good.
Yeah, there was another stun over on Cubsy, which he trinketed. No plunder armor committed once again. Mage Din getting lower, used the invisibility gouge over on a Cubsy. Mass Invis used as well to protect Cubsy from any follow-up CC. We're at around 10% dampening at this point of the game. Cubsy a little bit behind on mana. You can see Waz and Swapsy together playing tag. Chaz in a nice position to heal up his team. Waz gets caught into the kidney shot though. He has trinket, he has cloak, he has everything. He's going to be completely fine. Arcane power committed by Mage Din, but they really didn't get too much besides that Iron Bark.
Yep, and Swapsy's able to purge it off. Of course, that Elemental Shaman, another tool he has. They get the blind on Cubsy. They're going to get out the trinket with that one, swapping it over onto Mage Din. Pain suppression is available, but plunder has not been committed. Cubsy doesn't want to have to use that cooldown, but it might be too late. Mage Din dropping low, should be able to get behind the pillar, gets kicked on the pennant. This is so hard for him. He's getting out the Shadow Mends desperately. Pain suppression is committed late, and that is the last little ounce of mana on Cubsy. Mage Din still dropping low. Beautiful low cyclone from Chaz. If they can follow it up on Cubsy, they will win this game.
Yeah, that was the plunder armor onto Mage Din though, and it got cloned, but Big Burst coming in from Swapsy. They need to continue this damage. Stun onto Cubsy, he gets cycloned as well. Mage Din trying everything he can to survive. Blind onto Swapsy, polymorph onto Waz. Nice defense coming in from Super Frogs to keep Mage Din alive, but it is not over. Mage Din needs to hold on. 2 more seconds on the ice block. Is he going to be able to get it off? And he does immediately. That was panic there. I think Mage Din would have been able to survive without it, but you really can't blame him in that situation.
It's panic, it's mayhem, it's Skill Cap Black, the #1 seed from Europe. They are all over this game right now, looking to go 2 up in the series and 1 game away from knocking Super Frogs out of the tournament. Chaz, Swapsy, and Waz have all of their defensive cooldowns available. They are so far ahead in this one as Cubsy once again gets caught up in the stun. Do they have to follow up? They're looking for the Cyclone. Gouge comes in. You see Chaz pushing up, gets that Cyclone. Can they get the damage onto Mage Din? He's kiting away, gets caught up in the stun. Does have the trigger, but not using it. Could die here. Waz gets the damage. Swapsy as well. Good connection, and Skill Cap Black looking so strong. 2-0.
That was
Chaz pushing up, gets that Cyclone. Can they get the damage onto Mage Din? He's kiting away, gets caught up in the stun. Does have the trigger, but not using it. Could die here. Waz gets the damage. Swapsy as well. Good connection, and Skill Cap Black looking so strong. 2-0.
That was
It's just, they're just so confident. Swapsy and Waz both saying, hey, we're here to win this. Like, we came into this going to win. We're not putting in all that hours of practice, even without Raikou, that we wouldn't do so. And they're really hungry as well for that rematch against the Rejects, who are sitting for them in that lower bracket final.
Yep, well, Super Frogs looking to deny their tournament lives on the line in game number 3. Skill Cap Black looking to close this out. Can Super Frogs survive?
That will be the question, and I think the biggest question will be, can Chanimal survive? Out of all of the players, he should be the main kill target for Skill Cap Black. Wouldn't be surprised to see some swaps over onto Cubsy, as we do see early mind games won out by Wealthy Man, but he's not even interested in Waz. He's interested in Swapsy and Chaz. He's just going to use that opportunity. We see Waz getting the re-stealth, left behind essentially out of that game, as Wealthy Man gets a little bit of momentum, but with Chaz getting another great bear farm, doesn't look like too much is coming out of it just yet.
Yeah, kidney shot into Garrod, into blind onto Chaz. He trinkets out of that. Iron Bar committed as well, but Swapsy still hasn't used that Astral Shift, so he has always that to fall back onto. Cubsy now taking a heap of damage from Waz. Chanimal with a nice defensive fear, allowing Cubsy to get some heals out. Waz and Swapsy both rotting down. Nice pressure coming in from Chanimals as well as Wealthy Man. Wealthy Man now gets caught and stunned. Chaz in a beautiful defensive position, spamming out the heals, gets that Tranquility off. Cubsy now into the full blind. What is Waz gonna do?
Yep, it looks like he wants Chanimals, but Chanimals ports away, positioning so good, as we always say. He was actually all the way on top of Chaz trying to get those dots out, but then he had all the way port positioning. You see Waz. This is the thing. The Outlaw Rogue does have a lot of mobility with that grapple hook, but if Chanimals has, 2 ports and he has to get the blind onto Cubsy, it makes it a difficult choice for him. Does he go for the swaps? Yes, he does. Swapsy now getting the damage onto Cubsy. They line closely with each other. Doesn't look like Earthshield was able to be swapped. They get the, was that the Health Zone? I guess it must have been the Health Zone, not the Spirit Link. Trinket actually coming out there from Cubsy as well. It was the Plunder Armor though, so a reasonable trade.
Yeah, Waz into a kidney shot. He commits the Cloak of Shadows. He's able to survive. Chaz got locked out there. Nicely done by Chanimals, but that was Plunder Armor. Committed a little bit late there by Waz. He realized the greed coming in from Cubsy, but was able to get basically every single defensive cooldown from them. Stunned now over onto Wealthy Man as he takes some burst. These swaps coming in from Swapsy and Waz are just so impressive.
Yeah, I mean, normally when you see this type of matchup, you'd expect Channels to be the main kill target, but I really believe if they get a kill in this game, it's going to come on Cubsy. He's got such a difficult task ahead of him because he has to keep the off-shield and the Affliction Wall. Like, it's an Affliction Wall. Like, he's not tanky. He will just die if he doesn't have it, but they have to read every single swap like Looney did in the prior series so that Waz can't get it, but it's so difficult. I mean, you've got the between the Ice Stun, you've got the Fire Range Stun. We see another swap over onto Cubsy now. It doesn't look like he got the Earth Shield available for this one either. If they have the follow-up stun, might be in a little bit of trouble here. It looks like he should be able to survive it. The tunneling down of Swapsy means not too much damage coming out of him.
Yeah, Gouge now onto Cubsy. Now they can go back and return fire onto Wealthy Man as well as Chanimals. Wealthy Man taking some big burst, but he has Earth Shield. He should be okay. Nice Cyclone coming in from Chaz, denying any of those heals coming in from Cubsy. Cubsy and Chaz are actually quite even on mana. Maybe Chaz has a little bit of a lead, but good job by Super Frogs keeping up the pressure. Everyone from Skill Cap Black just topped off right now. Chanimals just really having a difficult time getting that dot damage rolling onto Skill Cap Black. Waz just all over him. And one of the things about that Outlaw spec is you have that range stun that he's able to use time and time again onto Cubsy, who gets caught once again, but he has the Earth Shield nicely done. He's going to be able to survive.
Yeah, Chanimals just has such a difficult job. Chaz is always line of sighting him, so he doesn't get any damage there. He can't get the Vim and Vigor. And it just means that his team has so little pressure. And like we said in the XRB Skill Cap series, it's so hard to dampen if you don't have counter pressure. That's something that Super Frogs are definitely feeling right now. They are getting a bit of damage onto Swapsy. They committed the blind there. No Iron Bark traded out just yet by Chaz. After the kick, he does use that to keep Swapsy stabilized. But they're actually starting to get some pressure here. We see blind over onto Cubsy. Does have the trinket available. They're swapping it over onto Chanimals. He gates away, kiting away. They should be able to get the sap off of that. Looks like actually Waz once again able, not because of the positioning between Channels and Cubsy, couldn't quite get back over there for that one. But mana is in their favor. Skill Cap Black still looking good, even with these little mistakes in the offense.
Yeah, the Gouge comes out from Waz over onto Cubsy. Good damage over on Channels. Finally, Cubsy able to land those heals. Waz has to trinket out there. He has no defensive cooldowns left with the Plunder Armor available. So although Waz has no defensive, he's ready to look. He's ready to get offensive in this matchup. If he can get a swap over onto Cubsy or Channels, it could be devastating. Swapsy putting out some nice pressure on that Elemental Shaman. It looks like Skill Cap Black, they're in full retreat right now. Waz realizing the situation, realizing he doesn't have too much, doesn't want to overstay his welcome.
Yeah, actually looking at the overall situation, they do have the Plunder Armor, but Super Frogs have actually been doing a pretty good job of like masking their cooldowns. Cubsy once again has been one of the best healers playing against this Outlaw Rogue, I think, in the tournament so far. He's held his trinket quite well, only traded out when he really, really needed to. So Wealthy Man might be the opportunity here. He doesn't have his PvP trinket, doesn't have that breaker for the next swap from Waz, but at the same time, mana's actually starting to even out I think they've left Chanimals alone a little bit more this second half of the match so far. Chaz actually, he's blinking away for a drink. This could be a huge play. If they can get that drink, if they can peel away for this, he might be able to get something good, but it looks like Chanimals might have moved his pet over there. Yep, it seems like that might have been what happened off to the corner of your screen, able to deny that drink. That could have been a huge moment in the game.
Yeah, very nicely done. Waz in now into the kitty shot. He's orc though, so it's not going to be lasting too long, and he does have that Cloak of Shadows available to him. He's ultra powerful against that Affliction Warlock. Anytime he uses the Cloak, like we said, he gets healed up, so it's going to be super strong. Chaz gets locked out there, but he's able to commit the Ironbark onto Waz, so not too much damage going to be following it up. Stun over onto Chanimals, and both teams kind of struggling to find big pressure in this matchup at this point, sort of respecting each other.
Yeah, and at the start of this game, you would have said Skill Cut Black were all over it. They were dancing around, getting swaps onto Cubsy left, right, and center. We see another one of those right now with Waz committing the Adrenaline Rush, but Cubsy just able to line of sight behind the pillar. And as the game has stabilized, as Super Frogs have adapted to the matchup a little bit better, you actually feel like they're getting more into it. They're actually starting to take the mana lead, and this is something about Chanimals. Like, even though in the matchup it feels like they shouldn't win, we were talking about it before the game started, that you just get the feeling they will anyways, Elliot.
Yeah, they're definitely playing a very high caliber in this matchup. Gouge onto Wealthy Man, stun onto Chanimals. Once again, blind over onto Chaz. He trinkets out of it, swaps into the kitty shot. He has no Astral Shift available. Do we see that Succubus come in from Chanimals once again? Full blind onto Cubsy though. Chanimals, walls, trinkets, Hellstones, everything committed by Chanimals to keep himself alive. Was looking to get some more follow-up CC on a Cubsy, not able to find it. Nice positioning from Chanimals, making sure he's always so far away from Cubsy, making it a nightmare for Waz to CC both.
Yeah, it does make it a nightmare, but as dampening stacks, maybe it doesn't matter so much anymore. Plunder Armor is available for Waz. This could be big, big trouble as they get the swap over. They're trying to get some damage onto Cubsy. Maybe they're going to try bait the Trinket out here from him. The Infernal Stun comes out. Nice peels from Chanimals. They get the Astral Shift there, but they're not getting what they wanted. They really wanted to get the Trinket on Cubsy there, I think, so they could set up the kill on Chanimals. He doesn't have his Wool, doesn't have his Trinket, and of course the Health Zone was recently used as well. Cubsy trying to get away, get some swaps. You see Chaz obviously out of mana as well, so they are really running out of time. If Skill Cap Black don't get this kill in the next minute or so, you have to say they're probably going to lose this one.
Yeah, and Vendetta available for Wealthy Man. He gets cloned up. That's what Chaz needs to do. He needs to make sure he's keeping the control up just to avoid that damage, as with no mana, it's going to be very difficult to heal through it. Earthen Shield Totem going to be dropped by Cubsy. Waz swapping over to Chanimals now, putting out good pressure onto him. Swapsy as well. Kidney Shot coming in from Wealthy Man, trying to counter pressure Swapsy just a little bit. There's the full Seduce over onto Waz. Chanimals looking for that Fear as well. Waz, he's very low in the situation. Chaz has regen just a little bit of mana. He has to play very, very passively, making sure the Chanimals and Wealthy Man cannot get the damage out that they need. Full stun onto Wealthy Man, but this is that Vendetta. It's been committed onto Swapsy, but Chaz able to easily heal through it.
Yeah, Chaz looking for another drink. You can just see he's trying to regenerate mana whenever he can. The pet, they're just trying to slow it down. You see Earth Grab slows from Swapsy. Of course, if the pet from Chanimals can stay on Chaz, it makes it harder for him to regenerate, but Chaz is trying to kite away constantly. They're getting another swap here over onto Cubsy, but Cubsy's been unrelenting in when it comes to trading out that trinket. He will only do it if he sees the Plunder Armor. Very scripted gameplay, but what they need to stay alive in this situation, and obviously you can die without it, so if Cubsy doesn't play the game well, it will be very difficult for them either way. Chaz has been doing a good job of stabilizing, though. You can see Skill Cap Black recognizing that they are in a bit of trouble, sitting back a little bit farther than they were earlier in the match, but they're struggling to get the win conditions, and Chanimals has his trinket back, as does everyone else on Super Frogs.
Yeah, stun on the Chanimals. Waz doesn't have a single defensive left. Chaz, though, with the Ironbark, 20% dampening we are at, and these healers are almost completely tapped on mana. Not going to be able to heal through this damage much longer. Nice swap over on a Cubsy. He finally trinkets out. No Plunder Armor was used by Waz there, so this is very scary for Cubsy in this situation.
That is very scary. They sealed the Earthen Shield Totem, traded out there as well. One more swap onto Cubsy could easily be the game. I think they can go through Astral Shift, but at the same time, Wealthy Man recognizes that. He trades out the Vendetta. He's trying to get aggressive onto Waz. Ironbark comes out from Chaz, as well as the artifact. Chaz actually got a little drink there, got a couple of ticks, so he's actually even leading in that department now. 22% healing reduction in that dampening buff in the middle of your screen. We're looking for the swap though. Waz, he's pushing in. He needs to get the swap over onto Cubsy. They might actually blind and go to Chanimals here, but defensive blind comes in the nick of time from Wealthy Man. That might keep Chanimals alive.
Yeah, Kitty Shot on a Chaz, interrupt on a Swapsy. Wealthy Man doing an excellent job in that situation. Follow-up here coming in from Chanimals. That was the setup, like you talked about, though, where they could have easily closed out this game. Wazo still has the Plunder Armor. Luckily for Chanimals, he has his major defensive cooldown, that unending resolve. Waz now swaps over on a Cubsy once again, not using the Plunder Armor. He's so patient with that.
He might use it now.
Before.
Yep, here it comes. There's the blind. There's the stun onto Chanimals. They're looking for the 3-0. They get the 3-0. Skill Capped Black. They were patient. I think he used Plunder Armor about 5 times in this entire series, but when he did, it counted. And Waz wins them the series.
Yeah, and that is...
Yeah, of course, Rich. I'm joined here live on the stage with the one and only, the god of elemental himself, Swapsy, and I have a question for you here. What do you think of your new team? Of course, you were on that legendary Dynasty team, the 2-time in a row BlizzCon champions. Are you more confident in this new team?
I wouldn't necessarily say more confident. I would say it's on an equal playing field. Even though there's like this rogue mage rivalry that existed between my team and their team back then, I was always like good friends with Raikou, so we always played a bit before, and yeah, I really like my new team.
And now moving into the next match, this is actually a rematch between you and Jamila. You were knocked down by the rejects, so do you feel prepared now? Are you ready for that grudge match?
We will definitely learned our lesson. We're more prepared than we were before. However, they're most likely going to play Rogue Mage, and as me playing a Shaman, there's no Shaman spec in the game that should win against Rogue Mage, so if we play a little better and we do the impossible, beating Rogue Mage, then we maybe have a chance.
All right. So you're not feeling too confident with that. So this next question might be a little bit off, but do you think you can still take this whole tournament? Even though Raikou isn't here, do you think you can take it all?
Yeah, we'll try our absolute hardest. I still believe that we can play better than we did yesterday against rejects, and then we might end up ending taking the series, and I think we have a really good shot at winning the entire tournament if we beat the rejects.
It was great talking to you, Swapsy. Obviously a very well-respected player and a strong elemental shaman. Back to you, Rich.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really interesting in that interview, too, talking about that old team that he was a part of. Honestly, right now, you look at Swapsy and you just go, wow, you've been on two of the most incredible rosters that have really come together in the esport. One is a dynasty that got to prove itself, got to last for so long in the favor of the World of Warcraft gods, win BlizzCons, and now on a roster that has a lot to prove. And we know that all the pieces are there, but the question is, how far will they be able to go, not only in this season, the next season, but overall in the finals here this year and then in future seasons to come. Very excited for everything that they can do. Their next test is going to be the rejects, but before we get there, let's take a closer look at how they ensured themselves this matchup, Zico.
Yeah, we got the Outlaw Ellie, of course, and this game there wasn't really too much to grab from in terms of clips until this moment right here happened. We're at 19% dampening, of course. We got Chanimals with no cooldowns, defensively no health stone, as well as that unending resolve. And then you can see Cubsy, he has his trinket still available, as well as that plunder armor. The main thing you want to look at is the blind and the trinkets, as well as that plunder armor and the trinket. And you can kind of take a look at the mana bar as well, because it is fairly relevant as well that both healers here are fairly tapped on their mana bars. They don't really have too much to work with. And now with that said, this is the big moment where you really want to get something forced here from Cubsy. You can see positionally as well. Waz is on top of Chanimals and Cubsy is over here trying to play max range, so it kind of becomes telegraphed every single time when Waz is gonna leap across here and try to land those pistol stuns into those big swaps. And also, where's Swapsy? Swapsy is over here right now with Chaz in a defensive positioning. So Swapsy will need to make his way to Cubsy's line of sight when this swap happens as well. Let's take a look at what they do. We got Waz, he's gonna leap across. There is the pistol stun. You can see Swapsy leaps across rather on the other side right there. He gets a nice Tricks of the Trade buff. There's a big Earthshock stun, and Cubsy's gonna be forced to trinket out. Now, when you're forced to trinket out before blind and plunder armor has been committed, and in addition to that, Chanimals doesn't have his unending resolves, you have two kill opportunities. And we were talking about it a little bit earlier yesterday about the importance of having two kill options. If you have two targets that they're afraid of that could die, then it's much harder as a healer to predict, should I keep Earth Shield on myself, should I keep it on Chan, what should I do? So with that in mind, we now have two pressure points. We can kill Chanimals, or Waz can kill Cubsy. And we can take a look at the tools that he has to do that as well. You can see those tools right here. There it is, the full blind, no trinket available, of course, on Cubsy, as we just saw. And you can see here, Plunder Armor is going to be available for Waz. Now, you can also see Swapsy has his Sky Fury Totem. They have a lot of things to work with here. The Storm Klepter, of course, as well. And Chanimal does have his Unending Resolve just back at this point, but still, there's a long crowd control chain, as well as the fact that Chanimal is about 45% HP or so at this point in time. So you have a nice opportunity here. And what you want to do as the Outlaw, this is something that a lot of Outlaws do. This is something we saw Skillcap Black do when they were playing the Outlaw Frost Mage as well. And that is that you leap over to Cubsy, you blind him, and if he pre-switches the Earth Shield to himself, when you blind him, you go into the DPS. If he has the Earth Shield on the DPS, you use the blind as like a setup time to get crowd control on the people who can potentially stop you. In this case, of course, Wealthy Man can stun somebody up who doesn't have a trinket, like Waz, and shut down the whole offensive go here. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and see what the clip has in store for us. Of course, they're going to blind Cubsy. You can see the Earth Shield animation on Cubsy right there. You're going to see Chanimal is going to get connected to. He's going to use his Unending Resolve. He's going to get stunned, re-stunned, and, you know, they don't even manage to get the sap. Chanimals was so...
Finals, they got to go on a tear. If they beat the Rejects, they get back into the graces of that grand final. But look at how many maps they actually had to pull down already. They do lower round 2, lower semis, and then they have to do the lower finals to get there. They've already taken down they've sent home.
So far, you can see Reform sitting in the grand finals, looking very, very strong. They're happy. They're looking to see who will win. And honestly, if I'm Reformed, I'm cheering on the Rejects. So you already beat them 3-1 in this upper bracket. And I don't know. I would be scared against Waz and Swapsy looking at how they played in that last series.
Definitely. But like you said, you can see they're right in the